G'day all, welcome back again to Dade vs Sun and our Pacific campaign using Panzer Grenadier, chronological campaign, and we're currently doing the first scenario, which is actually the first scenario out of Alaska's War, Alaska's Warriors, where the Japanese attack Attu and Kiska, and they're attacking and trying to take the village of Attu here. During the last turn, a lot of sort of back and forth. The assault here was completed with the destruction of the last step of American infantry in there. The demoralized unit moved away a bit further again, failing its recovery role. The captain and his company here have dug in. The Alaska Scouts are dug in up here, and we still have the Salt Hex 2 going, which did pretty well for the Americans. They ended up with a disrupted infantry platoon, but they demoralized all of the troops and disrupted the lieutenant. The ensigns moved up from Assault Zone 1 up to Assault Zone 2 because he's got the +1 for morale to try and help these guys bounce back, which is good. So that's where we stand at the moment. This is the 10:45 turn. Looking at this. The Americans have lost 4 steps in total, which is the sergeant and 3 infantry steps. And the Japanese have lost 4 steps total. So let's get the initiative roll out of the way. The Americans are down to 1 and the Japanese are down to 4. So the Americans 1 plus 4 is 5 and the Japanese 4 plus 3 is 7. Difference of 2 halved is 1. Activation for the Japanese. Now, what do they want to do? At the moment, all these troops are doing well, slowly moving up and playing silly buggers. I think what they need to do is they need to try and fix this first. If they do that, they're handing the initiative to the Americans. But I don't want these guys attacked by the Americans, because the Americans can still attack fully. Well, 6 and 3 is 9. These guys can only defend at the moment, and they defend with a quarter. So, that's 1.5. So, say 2, 3, 4, which isn't real great for defense at all. So, I think they're going to have to bite the bullet. The lieutenant will activate these guys to recover. So, he's going to try and do his recovery first. He is a 9. So it will be an 8 or less. Oh, ouch. And he failed miserably and is now demoralized. So the ensign doesn't need to worry about doing anything. So he can just add his +1 to these guys to bring them back up to a 9. They start with 9. Demoralized takes them down to 8. So he brings them back up to 9. So that, again, these all need 8 or less. The machine gun passes, so will now be disrupted. The first infantry, 8 or less, just makes it. And the last infantry makes it as well. So the ensign really helped out big time there. So those guys are done, and that'll help them with defense now. So we'll go over to the Americans for their first activation, and what do they want to do? We could do some fire. We can't fire at the lieutenant down here. We can't fire down there because we're blocked by our own troops there. But we can fire at this lieutenant here at a range of 3. So we could fire with all these units at a range of 3. That'd give us 10, 22, 24 in direct fire, which means we'd start on the 22 column, but we'd lose one for the range. So we'd be firing on the 16 column, which isn't bad. I don't think any... sorry, we'd be back up to the 22 because there's a +1 because they're in the muskeg. So that would be a good shot. So we might actually do that. We're going to activate these guys to fire. And like I said, we've got 10. +2 is 12. +12 is 24, which puts us on the 22. We're down 1 column for range of 3 hexes or more, and we're back up 1 because of the muskeg. So we're on the 22, and we get an 8 on the 22, which is a morale check. These guys here. The lieutenant is a 9. Gets an 8, he's fine, and the heavy machine gun is a 9 and passes as well. So yeah, didn't do much. And they are done, and we're back over to the Japanese for their second activation. What do they want to do? Okay, the commander is going to activate his stack. Sorry. They're going to move. They're going to move, and that's going to move. Okay, so what we're going to... Oh, did we want to move with these guys or fire? We're going to fire this one. So we're going to do the moves first. So the commander and his little reduced guy, another infantry, and we've got this infantry. So I'm going to move this infantry first, and they're going to try and move. They're going to move back up onto the track. That's costs them 2. But because we're moving through muskeg, we've got to do a Maya roll, so 3 or less. Now he passes, so he is done. And then the commander is going to move up there with them. They are on the track, so they're fine. They can just stay there, and I'm just going to leave them there like that. So they're finished. And again, they can feed troops in, if need be, into the assault hex, or help to bring fire onto the captain and this demoralized unit if it survives. Right, so the lieutenant here is going to, with his heavy machine gun, is going to fire against Mr. Demoralized. So we're firing for 6, which is the 4 column. We get +1 because of the demoralized unit being in the muskeg, so we're on the 7. But I think that's about it. Yes. So we're firing on the 7 column. We get an 8, which will be a miss, and we are done there. We're back over to the Americans for their second activation, and we're going to go to Assault Hex 2. Okie dokie. Assault combat. Righto, so the Americans are going to activate to assault these guys. So they have 6, 12, 13 firepower, which is on 13 column. They have an undemoralized leader, so they go up 1. They don't have higher morale or anything else. So I think that is simply that. I was really hoping that they all stayed demoralised, because that would have given me another shot, another +1. But we're on the 18 column. We get a 6 on the 18, which is an M1. Okay, so let's just mark that. Let's pull this over here. US M1. And the Japanese will come back halved. So 2, 4, 7. So they'll be on the 5 column. They have an undemoralized leader with the ensign. So they go up 1. The morale is higher because they start with a 9. So they go up 1. And they're Japanese, so they're on the 18 column as well. Get a 5, which is an M2. So we'll do the M2 first. Okay, so the lieutenant is a 9, so he needs a 7 or less and gets it. And then both of these platoons are 7s, so 5 or less for the first, gets it. Second, gets it. Well done, boys. Okay, and we had an M1 against these guys. So the lieutenant is a 9, is an 8, is a 7. So 7 or less, gets it, he's fine. The ensign is a 9, so 8 or less, no, he fails, so he will be disrupted. These units are all 9, so they all need 8 or less. Machine gun first, passes, just. First infantry platoon, passes. Last infantry platoon, fails. He's disrupted plus disrupted, so he ends up demoralized. So not a bad outcome. Not a bad outcome. The Americans took no extra damage or anything, but we've knocked these guys down. So back to the Japanese. They have this stack here. So this will be their third activation. And they have a reduced machine gun and an infantry platoon. And I think I would like to just shoot up here, but I think what we will do is we will activate to move. Machine gun will move to here. Nobody can fire at him or anything else. He's going to stop there. So again, he is... Ooh, do we want to stop there? Yes, we will stop there. Hang on a sec. We're not going to have cover from this guy, because the chances of him passing aren't real great, a recovery, because he's reduced, which is a 6, 5, so he needs a 4 or less. So, it's a 33% chance, sort of thing, 30% chance of doing something. So did we just shoot at him? We'd be firing for 7. And we'd get 1, so we'd be on the 11 because he's in Muskeg. No, we will move. So we'll move up here. We do a Maya roll. He passes. He can't go any further because he's only got a movement of 3. Infantry moves up. Maya roll, passes, and the lieutenant comes up with a Maya roll and just passes. And they are done. Okay, the Americans do their third activation, and that will be this little fella here, who will try and do his recovery. So like we said, he's a 6, been reduced a 5, so he needs a 4 or less. Fails, so he moves away again over to there and is done. Japanese have now all activated, so they've got nothing to do. They pass. The Americans, the only thing they could activate is the lieutenant here, who is currently dug in the scouts. I want to leave him dug in at the moment. If this bloke moves too much further over, he can only sort of go here, and then he's going to have to start skirting up this way. So what I might do is leave them there for the time being. These guys can always try and come up with these guys at some later stage if need be and try and help. Well, they can't really help him because he doesn't have a morale modifier. So we'll just pass, and I think that will be the end of that turn. So we can clear the markers. We can move it up to the 1100 turn, and and we do the cruiser guns. I'm just opening up Word again. I don't know why that shut down, but it did. So we'll roll up for the cruiser guns. We go bang, a 2. And a 2 for 11 o'clock is 1906. And again, And again, I've done it this way so that the Japanese don't have an unfair advantage in knowing exactly where the Americans are all the time for doing this. So 1906 is going to be right here. So the captain and his mob are going to take a 30 in bombardment fire right here. Now, they're in Muskeg. So by the rules of that, it drops by 1. It's -1 to bombardment. So let's just look at it. So we start with 30. Town, entrenchment, no. Beach, jungle, mangrove, blah, blah, marsh, rocky, or swamp. And it's Muskeg, which is a swamp, so we go down 1. It's not a gun or anything like that. It's not friendly fire. It's not trucks. No, 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 no. Target contains 3 combat units. It does. We're back up to the 30. So, yep, we're on the 30 column. Dug in does not help. Oh, yes, it is. Oh. Okay. Let's just do that again. We're 1 down for swamp. We're 1 down for dug in. We're 1 up for 3 combat units. So we're on the 21 column. We get a 6 on the 21, which is a miss. Righto, so let's just put our boom on there, like that. And we are done for that turn, and we can start the 11 o'clock turn. 18 minutes. We might call it quits there. We don't want it to be too long. So very, very lucky for these guys. Very, very lucky. So at the end of that turn, no changes, no losses or anything else. And we are good to go for the 1100 turn next time. So everybody's still in spotting range of everybody, so no hassles. We will call it quits there. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.